Okay.
All right, we're live.
Okay. Hello, guys, and welcome back to the MMA Brothers podcast. It's Daryl.
It's Asher.
We are talking UFC 262, Charles Oliveira versus Michael, the Iron Mike, fake white Mike Chandler. That's my guy, though. I don't mean fake as in whatever. I mean he's just not the real Iron Mike, because that's Iron Mike Tyson. Nick. All right, let's go. We're going to get into it. As per usual, we're starting at the top of the main card. Actually, bottom of the main card. What am I saying? It's been a few weeks, you can tell. Bottom of the main card. And we are going to give you who we think is going to win and why. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. There's one fight here that I'm not really sure about, and it's Matt Schnell versus Rogerio Bontorin. That name sounds very familiar, though. I'm pretty sure I've watched Rogerio fight before. So this is in the 125. No, is it at 25 or 35? Because these are two different
35. 35.
They're fighting at 35. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the Brazilian comes in at 16-3 and 1 no contest. The American comes in at 15-5, 5'8", 5'5", 3-inch height advantage for Matt. And he's got a 3-inch reach advantage as well. How did these fighters get it done? These are smaller dudes, so the knockout power is usually not there because they're usually all of them hit just as hard and super, super fast. So usually you see metrics kind of like this. With 13% KO or TKO for Matt, and then Rogerio Bontorin has 19%. Both fighters are jiu-jitsu practitioners with 69% submission victories for Rogerio and 53% by Matt. Now, as you can see with the low decision rating, Rogerio likes to get the fight out of the way and get it and keep it out of the hands of the judges, even though his average fight time's 9 minutes. And we can see with Matt doesn't mind emptying out the gas tank and going the full 15 minutes. So how do I think this is gonna go? For some reason, I remember Rogerio Bontorin's name, and I believe yes, he's the lower. I mean, he's a lower ranked fighter, not the higher ranked fighter. But I just think Rogerio Bontorin, for some reason, I'm gonna go with him. I don't really know much about either of these, but I'm just getting a sense of Rogerio Bontorin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about these fighters as well. So I'm just gonna pick the opposite of you. I'm gonna go with match now. Let's move on.
Okay. Shane Burgos versus Edson Barboza. Shane the Hurricane Burgos. This guy has the toughest chin I've ever seen. Versus Edson Jr. Barboza. This is in the 145-pound division. Edson used to fight at 55. He's dropped weight classes because the guys at 55 are killers. Edison's 21-9, when Shane Burgos is 13-2. Height exactly the same, reach essentially the same. There's a half-inch reach advantage for Shane Burgos. How did these fighters get it done? Not surprised to see only 5% of wins come by submission for Barboza. I'm pretty sure he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but his kicks, his spinning heel kicks, he's the one who gave Kevin Lee the infamous chicken legs, and he spinning heel kicked him. 57% KO TKO, with 38% by decision. Shane Burgos. This dude moves forward, doesn't care if he gets hit. He smiles as you hit him. I've never seen anyone take as much punishment as Shane Burgos. He did get finished in his last fight, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Asher? Shane?
I don't know if that was his last fight, but yeah, continue.
Yeah. He wins 38% for sub and KO TKO and 23% by decision. This is not going to be a boring fight. This is going to be a very, very, very entertaining fight. I'm super excited for it. I think this is Edson's time to shine. He's probably, I think he's lost like 3 out of his last 5 or something, or 4 out of his last 5. Edson's had a rough go, and I think that if he doesn't win this one, he might get cut. So I'm going to go with Barboza because he's fighting for a lot more than Shane. Shane can lose this and still stay in the UFC for many, many, many years to come because he's very exciting. So I'm going to go with Barboza.
So yeah, Burgos, he lost his last fight by decision to Josh Emmett. But yeah, like you said, the guy has an insane chin. Like some of the shots that he eats, I'm like, how is this guy still fighting? He gets dropped, doesn't matter, he comes back. Edson Barbosa, former lightweight, now he's moving down to 145. I think this is his second or third fight. I think he lost his first one, won his second, and now this is his third. So And yeah, this is not an easy opponent for Barbosa, but Barbosa never has easy fights. For me, I do think that Barbosa will be able to KO Burgos if he does hit him with, any of those kicks to the head. Because as much as Shane Burgos can take a shot, nobody can take a shot to the head. Like, unless you're Kevin Lee, can take a wheel kick and survive. But most people, once they get hit in the head by Barbosa, it's game over, right? So, I'm going to be picking Barbosa to win this fight just because I think he has more experience. And even though Burgos is a big featherweight, I'm pretty sure Burgos actually might be bigger than Barbosa. That's how big this guy is at
Oh,
145.
I
So
don't know how he makes 45, dude. He's huge.
yeah, he's huge. So it's not going to be an easy fight for Barbosa. It's actually probably my second most excited, maybe not second, actually. Not that's a lie. I'm looking forward to the Tony Ferguson fight. So
Third.
it's one of the fights that I'm interested in.
Definitely
So
third. Yeah. Like
yeah,
this
definitely third.
definitely should be after Caitlin Chukagian because I think that it's going to be a snoozer, the next one. But yeah.
Yeah, so I'm picking Barbosa.
Good stuff. So Caitlin Chukagian versus Viviane Araujo. So the United States, the blonde fighter is 14-4 versus Viviane Araujo, fighting out of Brazil at 5'4". Caitlin has a 5-inch height advantage, but the reach is the same, which is really, really weird. I don't know if Caitlin has short arms or Viviane has long, or it's a combination of both. But how did these fighters get it done? Caitlin, 80% by decision, 7% sub, 13% KO TKO, whereas Viviane is much, much more well-rounded as a fighter at 30% KO TKO, 40% sub, 30% decision. How do I think this is going to go? Caitlin lost her last fight to Jessica Andrade by body shots, and those body shots were nasty. I just don't think Caitlin has the power to get it done. She has the cardio. She has the fitness, she has the technique, but she's just lacking power. Even when she grapples, she doesn't look like she's too physically imposing. And looking at the physique of both the fighters, 5 inches less in height, same reach. Shorter fighters usually much more powerful than taller fighters, much more compact. So I'm going to go with Viviane. I think Caitlin, she's a very good fighter, but I think that this is Viviane's time to make her way in division, stake her claim. Who do you got?
Yeah, so Chikagan, after she lost to Andrade, she did come back like pretty quickly, and she fought what's her name, Cynthia Calvillo, and she won that fight. And so
Boring.
since then, sorry.
Boring fight though.
Yeah, she won by decision. And by the way, like, why can't she come up with a more creative name? I feel like blonde fighter is like really that's all you got. Like, excuse me, I don't know why they couldn't think of a more original name for her, but whatever. More that's all you got. And yeah, Chikagian, she's a decent fighter, probably top 5, top 6 in the featherweight, not featherweight, so in the flyweight division of the women, 125. So there's not a lot of competition for her, unless your name is Jessica Andrade, unless your name is and Valentina Shevchenko. I feel like Caitlin Chikagian is good enough to beat anybody in the division. So it does seem like Araujo has a nice submission game. So that's one thing the blonde fighter better be wary of. But if she can avoid the takedowns and avoid being on the ground with jiu-jitsu, then I do think Chikagian should be able to win. It's a 3-round fight. All she has to do is move around, hit her with a jab, and then she should get this victory. So I'm picking Chikagian. Okay. Moving on. So finally, we got El Kakui. El Kakui's back. That is not what Tony Ferguson looks like now. He looks much, much older. But yeah, Tony El Kakui Ferguson is fighting Benil Dariush. It's number 5 versus number 7. Or is it number 9? I can't see from here.
Number 9.
Number 9. So Tony Ferguson's had a rough last 2 fights. He was on like a 12-fight win streak before he fought Justin Gaethje when the pandemic started. Since then, he got really, really beat up in that fight. And so it's Tony time. Yep. So since then, he got really beat up in the Justin Gaethje fight, and then from there he fought who did he fight next? Charles Oliveira, who's fighting for the title right now, right?
I mean, Charles dry humped him for 25 minutes and did no damage to Tony.
It was a 15-minute fight. It wasn't 25, but yeah,
whatever. Do Bronx.
Even on the stand-up, Charles Oliveira had Tony Ferguson, so there's nowhere where Charles Oliveira was in danger when fighting Tony Ferguson. But Benil Dariush, this guy is a killer right now. He's won how many fights in a row? I think 6 fights in a row he's won. And Benil Dariush, he's from Iran. Obviously, Tony is Mexican American, and Tony will be an inch taller, and Tony will have a 2.5 inch reach advantage. Let's scroll down to
Four,
see how. Oh,
four and
four.
a half.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought that was 74. Scroll down. So if you see how the fighters win the fights, Tony Ferguson, 50% of his fights won by KO or TKO. It's mostly usually due to TKOs. And Tony Ferguson obviously has a nasty darts game, so he can win that way. Dariush, it's surprising that most of his wins are by submission because lately he's just been knocking out fools. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's won some decisions here and there, but he gets a lot of knockdowns in this fight. So I'm really interested in this fight. I'm sad that it's not 5 rounds, it's only 3, because Dariush is a monster. A lot of people are giving me flack for making that post saying like, what happens if Tony's gonna lose? You're being negative. I'm like, nah, man. Dariush is in a 6-fight win streak. Tony's lost his last 2, and I know that those have been to, title challengers, right, in the 155 division. So I'm not saying that Tony's washed up or anything. What I am saying though is that Benil Dariush is on a roll right now, and they just keep feeding Tony killers. Tony's what, 38 now, 37, 38. He's not getting any younger. He's probably getting slower in my opinion, and Dariush is that guy that can take anything. Hit Dariush with the fridge, this guy's still going to be in there. You know what I mean? So Dariush is going to be able to take Tony Ferguson's best shot, and I'm picking Benil Dariush to catch Tony Ferguson, because Tony Ferguson does get hit, and then Tony's gonna go down, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, what happened to Tony Ferguson?" And then Benil Dariush is gonna be calling for a title shot. So I'm picking Benil Dariush to win this fight. Who you got?
I gotta go with Ferg, man. I think that everyone is giving up on him. I think there's still some fight left in the tank. I just think that his last showing against Charles Oliveira was. I don't understand the hype behind it, because you can say that he beat him in the stand-up. How long were they standing up for? Fucking 2 minutes of the 15-minute round of 15 minutes of the whole fight? Bullshit, dude. Charles Oliveira doesn't deserve it, in my opinion. Justin Gaethje's way more of an entertaining fighter. He actually does damage to people in fights. He just freaking sit there and hold it.
Charles Oliveira is on what, like 8-fight win streak?
I don't care what he's on in if he's the most boring fighter to watch. Like, tell me right now, if Charles Oliveira's champ, you're gonna watch his next fight. I wouldn't. I probably, honestly, dude. What's he gonna do next? At least Habib goes for finishes, bro. I can't stand Charles Oliveira, bro. I can't. Just based off the fact that he held someone down for 15 minutes. If you want to say that, that's cool. Don't say he bodied Tony Ferguson. Like, he did no damage. Tony's fine. Yes, he got caught in an armbar for like freaking 10 seconds, and then Tony for some, I don't know how the nigga didn't tap, but whatever it is, good on Tony. I think that Benil is going to move forward and not respect Tony's power. He's going to get caught. Tony's going to take him down. He's going to land a lot of elbows. I think that's how the fight's going to go. Most likely a second round TKO win for Tony Ferguson, because everyone's sleeping on him. Everyone's betting on Benil, but I still think there's some fight left in that dog and Tony, and Tony never quits on himself. So he must have something up his sleeve. He also started training with actual coaches, because Tony just used to do his own fucking thing, dude. And then he'd have some jiu-jitsu coach. He used to have Eddie Bravo would come corner him, but like, it's not like he trained with Eddie Bravo on a daily basis. You know what I mean? He had no head coach. So now he does. He's in a structured gym. I think it's going to be good for him, and I think we're going to see a much different Tony Ferguson this time, personally.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. So,
and here we go. Yeah, you can introduce him, because the nigga makes me sick, bro.
Charles do Bronx Oliveira, he's back and he's facing Michael Chandler in the main event of UFC 262. Charles Oliveira 29-8, Michael Chandler 22-5. Charles from Brazil, Mike is American, and this fight's obviously at 155. So Charles Oliveira will have the 2.5-inch reach advantage going into this fight, and Charles Oliveira is also 2 inches taller. Let's scroll down and see how they get it done. So Charles Oliveira submission game, it's off the chain, right? So Iron Mike Chandler, he does have a lot of power, so if he does hit you, you will fall. Charles Oliveira is hittable, but honestly, Charles Oliveira, I don't even know how he got so good, because all of a sudden, Charles Oliveira was one of those fighters that was just like a 50-50 fighter, kind of like Jan Blachowicz, right? So, as a 50-50 fighter in the UFC at 145, he decided, you know what, I'm done with cutting weight to 145. I'm moving up to 155. All of a sudden, his stand-up game got ridiculous. His jiu-jitsu game even got even more mod than before.
Save me. Cut
and then,
back. His stand-up game
bro,
get fucking ridiculous. Fuck off.
It's gotten better.
He's gotten better, yeah, but don't say
he beat
ridiculous.
Kevin Lee. He beat so many
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah. He was
fighters.
getting pieced up by Kevin Lee. Kevin shot on a stupid takedown, and then he got choked out. Don't make it
And he
seem
was
like he's
not getting
piecing up
pit.
Kevin Lee.
He's not getting pieced up. It's actually quite a competitive fight. I actually think Charles Oliveira was winning that fight until the submission happened. And that's my opinion. He was
Yeah,
not getting pieced up.
because you love Oliveira's nuts, dude. I don't know why, but you love him. But
Anyways, he's won 8 straight. You can hate on him as much as you want. 8 straight wins is nothing to sniff at. So, but yeah, Charles Oliveira, 8-fight win streak. Michael Chandler has won 1 fight in the UFC. The UFC's blessed him. Yes, I do understand he was a Bellator champ. A lot of people are upset that he's gotten fast track to the title, but then again, he was a champ in the previous organization. So he did get 1 win in. He knocked out Dan Hooker in the first round in a few minutes. So they gave him Charles Oliveira for the title. Dustin Poirier decided to fight McGregor for the trilogy. This honestly makes the most sense to me. So Justin Gaethje is left on the outside looking in. But honestly speaking, I do think that Charles Oliveira does have some quit in him. If you've watched some of his fights before, when the going does get tough, it is quite easy, not quite easy, but it's easier to finish Charles Oliveira compared to some other fighters. So Michael Chandler does seem to have no quit in him. He seems to be like the toughest guy that maybe Oliveira has fought so far. So I do think I'm going to pick Michael Chandler to win this fight, but Michael Chandler does love going for takedowns. He probably should not try to take down Charles Oliveira, because if he does, that guillotine, just like Kevin Lee got stuck in, you go for a takedown, you time it wrong, Oliveira's got your neck and you're tapping. It's literally that simple. So if I were Michael Chandler in this fight, try to keep it standing the whole time. And MMA Frenzy podcast says Chandler in 3. That's not a bad guess. But yeah, if I were you, I would try and keep the fight standing at all times. Please do not go for any takedowns, because it'll be sad if he loses a fight like that. Keep it standing. You get your hand on Charles on the feet, and then you should be able to win this fight. So who you got, Daryl?
I don't even need. I did. It makes me sick looking at his picture, man, because I just know how much people love this dude. It just makes me sick. I just don't understand the hype behind. Anyway, I've already cried and done whatever. I'm picking Mike, and I want Mike to knock this dude out first round. It's just like, okay, my MMA brain's back on now. Charles versus Mike is a very, very good, interesting matchup, because if it's on the feet, I'm backing Mike to piece him up. But Mike does get hit too. If you watch his fights in Bellator, he gets cracked because he's just like, dude, me and you are going to sit in the pocket. I think I can hit harder than you, and I usually do, and I'm going to hit you harder than you're going to hit me, right? I don't see Charles winning by TKO. If anything, as you said, he's going to get caught in a guillotine, taking him down. But Mike also is one of the best wrestlers in the division now with Khabib gone. He is a very, very good wrestler. Even if you watch him over at Bellator, he loved keeping it standing. But when he shot in for a double, it's like you know what I mean? You're just going for a ride at that point. You know what I mean? So I'm not too concerned with it, because he would have a game plan for it. I just think Kevin was overzealous with the takedown, and then he got caught up in it. But I have Michael Chandler winning by first or second round TKO. I just think that Charles he's a slow starter too, which you didn't mention. Against Tony just gets hit a lot, so it looks bad. And Tony's also not a first rounder either, right? So you have 2 non-first rounders. Now he's facing a first round fighter, as in Mike comes out guns blazing. You can ask Dan Hooker. He's like, bro, didn't even have a chance to get warm. I was asleep and the fight was over, bro. You know what I mean? So I think it's Mike's time. And it's going to be Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor for the title. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely nuts. And then Justin Gaethje will face the loser of this fight to fight for the title. Because Justin, I don't also understand Justin. He's like, dude, you lost your last fight. Why would we give you another title fight after you lost your last fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just
salty, dude. He's like, I'm not fighting Michael Chandler. And then Chael was like, dude, you can't just. He didn't mention him by name. He said, yo, there's these fighters who think everything's just going to be handed to them just because they had like a few good fights before their last one, then they lost. Like, it's definitely about Justin Gaethje with what Chael was referencing, and I agree with him. It's like, dude, there's other people who will take up the opportunity to fight, and then now you're sitting in the lurch. He was like, yeah, I was discussing fights, and next thing you know, I see that they've booked Chandler versus Oliveira. It's because you went on, I think it was Ariel's show, or you went on some MMA channel and said he's not fighting Michael Chandler because he doesn't think he deserves it. I'm like, doesn't matter what you think, Justin. You know what I mean? If the UFC thinks so, and you missed the boat, this is the shit that happens. I'm pretty sure they offered him Michael Chandler, and he said no. or they were working it out. He said no initially, then they started working it out. So I don't know. I think that it's not Drew Bronx. It's not the Drew Bronx era in the UFC. It never will be. Lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean? Like him and Jorge. And I hope Mike puts him to sleep. That way, the Drew Bronx hype is put to sleep as well. You know what I mean?
All right. So yeah, he's got Drew Bronx. I got sorry, we both have Michael Chandler. He doesn't want Drew Bronx to win. What do you guys think? You guys please give us a follow, MMA Brothers Pod. The
Thanks
Instagram page
for
is
the comment.
yeah. The MMA page is slowly blowing up. We're seeing like 10% growth every couple days. Instagram, the algorithm is blessing us on the explore page. So it's very, very nice to see. I think we're like 3,400 followers now. So who knows? 4, 5K, 6K, 10K.
When we get to 10K, we'll do a giveaway. Then we get to 100, we'll do a giveaway. We'll do 2 giveaways.
Yeah, guys. When you get to 100K,
and by giveaway,
and then when we get to 1 million, we'll do the third giveaway.
I only do it in increments multiplied by 10, bro.
I only do it when I see another zero added to the follower account. You know, when there's another digit, then I'll bless you guys. So that's there for you. But anyways, guys, thank you for all the engagement. I love it. And we'll hit you with the post fight. And this one, I have a feeling is going to be an amazing card.
Yeah, because obviously the expectations are low, so it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, and there's fans in the building again too, so this one's gonna be exciting. I'll post all the highlights on the page. If you want to see the highlights, give us a follow. And yeah,
the day that comes for Asher.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we got him, guys. We got him. Yeah, we got him bad. Yeah, he's gone bad.
Yeah, whatever. Come for me, dog. And the thing is, honestly, if they say like, yo, you can't be posting highlights, like cool, I'll just stop posting highlights. Still got my followers, baby. What are you gonna do?
Posted then deleted quick, bro.
Anyways. Yeah. All right, guys. Nice chatting. See you later. One sec.